My name is Kate Kirkwood. I'm an expert on childhood lead poisoning in New Hampshire, and this little video is for parents. I want to talk to you for just a couple of minutes about a new law that's been passed in New Hampshire called SB 247 and what that means for you. First of all, I want to make sure you understand how serious this danger is for your children. If you have children under the age of 6, anywhere in the world, you should know that children who are exposed to lead during that time period from 0 to age 6, their brains are in development. And science tells us that when we introduce lead into a child's developing brain, they lose IQ points. You see, it's not the lead paint. Often people think that if a child got lead poisoned, it means they pulled some paint off the wall and they ate it, or that they were chewing on the windowsill. It doesn't work that way. I've met hundreds of families now with lead poisoned children, and I can tell you that most of the time it was because somewhere in the house there was some chipping, peeling, flaking old paint. And that paint, as it deteriorates, maybe because you open and close an old window and it rubs against the casing, or because there's a baseboard where you bump into it with toys and the legs of chairs and that sort of thing. And the paint just chips off in tiny, tiny, tiny little pieces, too small to see. And your child breathes that dust in because it's airborne, or it gets on their hands because they crawl around the floor and then they put those hands in their mouths. Not only that, but sometimes parents bring lead dust home because they come in contact with it at work or in older buildings, or sometimes families collect antiques, or they buy things from different countries where they don't have the same lead regulations that we have in this country. So sometimes the lead dust isn't even in your house. Naturally, it gets brought in from other things. If you have a workshop in your house or your barn, if the children work with you there, or maybe you have a business where you repair cars, or you work in a marina, or you work with oil paints or latex paints that you paint on canvas, or you make crafts, or there's so many ways that you and your children can come in contact with this lead dust. Well-meaning parents poison children every day with do-it-yourself projects, or contractors who come in to renovate your house and don't know the rules, and so they're not careful enough with that little tiny poisonous dust. Sometimes it's the landlord who doesn't know about the rules. So I just want to tell you a couple of things that I hope will help you to stay safe. First of all, there is a new law, like I said, Senate Bill 247, that now is going to require pediatricians to test your children at the 1-year-old and the 2-year-old checkup. So even if you have not had your children tested before, they should be tested at the 1-year-old and the 2-year-old checkup. That's a good thing. You should let the pediatrician test. In fact, you should ask them to test if they don't think of it on their own, because it is a new law and not everyone knows about it yet. That is the most dangerous age 1 and age 2, when these kids are starting to get around and get into everything. We want to make sure that we test their blood. The initial test can be just a little finger stick, and it will give you a level. Now I want to just tell you a little bit about those numbers. If the pediatrician or the doctor's office or the lab tells you that the number is between 3 and 10, that's a warning. Anything, really no level of lead is safe, but anything over 3 is something we worry about these days. So if you have a level of 5, 6, 7, it's time to take action, to make sure that you do a little research, figure out what you need to do to keep your kids safe. It will be probably washing their hands. It will be making sure that any chipping, peeling, flaking paint in your apartment or your home is covered up. It might mean using a special vacuum with a tiny little filter that filters out all the lead. There's a lot of things you can do. You can contact us for some help. Also, there is a class. It's a 1-day class for do-it-yourselfers, for landlords, for contractors, for anybody who disturbs paint in a house built before 1978. If you do your own work, you should get this class. You should make sure that your contractors, your landlords, anybody who's working in your house has this class. It's a 1-day class. It's called RRP, Renovate, Repair, and Paint. In the state of New Hampshire, that's monitored by the EPA. So they should show you a certification that says EPA and HUD. All right, or you should go and take the class and learn yourself. It costs $200. It's a one-day class, and you're good for 5 years. So make sure that anybody who's doing work in your house is lead certified. Also, I have a book. I've written a book called The Parent's 5-Step Guide to Lead Poisoning. You can find it on Amazon. It's not expensive. I have a couple of books there. I have a children's book called Skylar Learns About Lead Poisoning, and I also have The Parent's 5-Step Guide. The Kindle version is like $2. I really encourage you to get a hold of these books. And you can contact us too if you have any questions. Make sure that you give us a call or shoot us an email. My contact information will be at the end of this video. My name again is Kate Kirkwood, and I'm happy to talk with you about it. If you're a homeowner, if you own your own home and you're nervous that you have lead there is money in the state of New Hampshire to help property owners get rid of lead. So let me help you find that money and fill out the application. There isn't any cost for me to do that for you. And if you qualify, I'd love to help you get some money to get rid of the lead in your house. In any case, get your kids tested and make sure that anybody who's doing work in your house is lead safe certified. Work lead safe. Thanks.